material management on this side, where projects, type of projects. Moreover, we have previously seen CPM and PERT. In the continuation of material management on the site, today we will see the waste generation on the site. Along with that, it is the management. So same kinds of contents are there in the subject of civil engineering 7th semester, construction management and law, and in that subject it is appearing in this syllabus. So I am revising it in the few concept of the construction management and law. And today we will see the waste generation on the site, type of waste on the site, and the management of the waste on the site. It's a problem actually on the big construction, so we'll see one by one. Okay, so the term waste comes when we imagine this kind of waste on the construction sites. Waste may be of the corroded reinforcement, waste may be of the shuttering, waste may be of the concrete blocks, cement blocks. So these might be the waste. Then again, the construction demolition waste. Actually, the recycling is the only option, or reusing is the only option for such kind of the construction demolition. Now we will see actually what kind of waste it is and how it is to be reused, where it is to be dumped, and all these. What are the bylaws? What are the government actions, initiatives to be taken by the government? We'll see. You will able to understand all these things by the end of this lecture. So be focused. So we will see now. Actually, waste building materials, degrading materials that are produced in the process of construction, remolding, repairs, and demolition of residential building, any kind of structure, commercial buildings and other structure and pavement. So these are the waste which is coming out from the demolition of the structures, as you can see in the photograph and the image in the slide. So the entire waste, just now we have introduced that the entire waste consists of in the term waste is obtained from, waste is from concrete, then bricks, then timber, sanitary wares, glasses, steel, and plastic. So in the waste management, basically plastic and glasses are difficult to handle. Reuse is the only option, but concrete, bricks can be reused. Timber sometimes cannot be used, but it can be reused. Sanitary wares like that. So on the construction sites, bricks, then timber, then sanitary wares, then glasses, then steel and plastic. Okay, if you can see the scenario, okay, present Indian scenario of construction and demolition waste, which is 14.5 metric ton out of 48 metric ton of total solid waste generated per annum. So we have divided the statistical data into metro cities, few major cities in India, that most highest generated waste from Delhi. It is 5,875 metric tons per day. All right. Then Greater Mumbai, followed by Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Kanpur, Jaipur, Agra, and Indore. So basically, this is a database as per the 2012 records, and I have seen it. I have get it from the few internet sources. So this is almost the statistical data where we can see the utilization of it or generation of the waste from various cities, top 10 cities in India, basically. Out of the entire waste, the 65% waste is coming out from concrete only, 65%. Then bricks and tiles, 25%, wood, that is 5%, metal, that is 2%, others 1%, and plastic also 1%, 2%. Okay, so basically this is the pie diagram which shows us the amount of waste in the form of materials. Okay, now we'll see the reasons for increase of construction and demolition waste. So many old buildings, concrete pavements, bridges, and other structures have overcome their age and limit of use due to structural deterioration beyond repairs and need to be demolished. As far as the average age of the structure is concerned, after that, there has to be some deterioration in the structural member of the building, so that beyond the repairs, it needs to be demolished. And new construction is better for economic growth. Structures are turned into debris resulting from a natural disaster like earthquakes, cyclone, floods, etc. So that may be the reasons for increasing the construction of demolition waste. Okay, so we'll see the hierarchy of C&D management. First, reduce, then the reuse, then recycle, then recovery, and then landfill. All right. So in the reduce segment, we will see the lowering the amount of waste produced. First, we have to reduce the use. Then we have to go for reuse, using the material repeatedly. Then using the materials to make new product, that is recycling. That is the best solution nowadays. Even I can quote one example that in the construction of Nagpur Metro, the Chhatrapati Bridge was demolished, and the same the same material was reused while construction of the flyover. That's a good thing. Then the recovery, energy from the waste, and finally the landfills. Okay, that is the last favorite option, landfilling. So we need to sort the process of construction and chemical demolition waste. Process of construction and demolition waste. So chemical, mineralogical appraisal, and mechanical sorting. These are the two processes. Now in the chemical mineralogical appraisal, recognize particular grain size, that is X-ray fluorescence, invest chemical composition in terms of major elements, and X-ray diffractometry, recognize the constitute mineralogical phases, and mechanical sorting process, bar screening, magnetic separation, and air classifier. Now, main issue for construction demolition waste management. Absence of segregation of waste at source. Absence of segregation of it at sources. That means on site only we have to segregate the waste sources, but due to the absence, it may cause. And lack of appropriately located recycling facilities. Then indifferent attitude of citizens towards waste management. That is the major problem. And illegal practices followed by contractors to save the money. Absolutely right. So these are the main issues of construction and demolition waste management. Absence of segregation at a site only, and lack of appropriately recycling facilities on the site or from the builder side, contractor side. Then indifferent attitude of citizens towards the waste management. That is also a fact. And illegal practices performed by the contractors to save the money. That is also the fact. Now, key requirement of waste management plan. What are the points? What are the plan in order to have proper waste management? First of all, types, quantities, and quality of waste. They need to measure for reducing the waste generation. Then on-site waste sorting, on-site and off-site reuse, areas for waste storage, quantities of waste requiring off-site disposal, monitoring and auditing program. So these are the things we need to keep in mind. First of all, the measuring the reducing waste generation, then on-site waste sorting, on-site and off-site reuse, areas for waste storage, quantities of waste requiring off-site disposal, and monitoring and auditing the programs regularly, periodically, so that we can manage the entire waste. Now, C&D waste generation in India, gross underestimation. So as far as the Union Ministry of Forest and Environmental has confessed, there is no systematic database on C&D waste. As for the estimates of Center for Science and Environment, CSE, since 2005, India has newly constructed 5.75 billion square meter of additional floor space with almost 1 billion square meter in 2013 itself. If accordingly to the Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, a new construction generates 40 to 60 kg of C&D waste as per square meter, then taking average of 50 kg per square meter, India must have generated 50 million tons of C&D waste till 2013. Over the last 8 years, it would have produced 287 metric ton of this waste. Now imagine the quantum of the waste that we have produced in last 7 to 8 years after 2013. This estimate only accounts for new construction, demolition, and renovation repairs related waste of the odorous stock generates additional waste. The waste produced per square meter of demolition is 10 times that generated during construction. It's a very serious issue that the waste is coming out that is 10%, 10 times more, not 10%, 10 times more than during the construction. As per TIFSC, 300 to 500 kg of waste per square meter. If it is assumed that 5% of the existing building stock gets demolished and rebuilt completely annually, then about 288 metric ton more of C&D waste would have been generated in 2013 alone because of demolitions. Also, TIFSC says building repair produces 40 to 50 kg per square meter of waste. Assuming that one third of the existing building stock underwent some sort of repairs or renovation in 2013, India must have generated an average of 193 metric ton of C&D waste just from repair and renovation in that year. Thus, the total C&D waste generated in India just by building in 1 year, 2013, amounts a homogeneous 530 metric ton, 44 times higher than the official estimate. Imagine the scenario if the waste generated was infrastructure projects such as roads and dams is added. No surprisingly, in India, if C&D waste is quantified, it will be more than all the other types of solid waste put together. Now, the question is, where is all this C&D waste going? A lot of things being used by land sharks to illegally fill up the water bodies and waterlands around the urban centers for the real estate development. The rest is just being dumped into rivers and open spaces. Basically, it's an alarming situation as far as the environmental issues are concerned. That the very few things are dumped, but major of the things are dumped into rivers and open spaces. That is a very harmful case. In no basically no reuse in India, construction agencies like CPWD says that Indian laws permit the use of only naturally resourced building material. The IS 327-1970 Indian standard specification related to aggregates for concrete laid down by Bureau of Indian Standard BIS stipulates that concrete can be made only with naturally assessed materials. Construction agencies cite this rule to avoid using recycled C&D waste. Now, building material crisis and environmental concern. Just now I am talking regarding the environmental concern that many of the waste is dumped only on the open spaces and rivers. So regarding that, indiscriminate mining of sand and other minor minerals have caused extensive damage to the environment. Scared rivers made many years susceptible to floods and destroyed the crucial recharge zones. In 2012, the Supreme Court has asked state governments to amend the rules to regulate mining of minor minerals and ensure environmental management. On August 5, 2013, the National Green Tribunal (NGT) declares sand mining without environmental clearance illegal. However, the concern for a deteriorating environment is being seen in the context of growing shortage of this material. The Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation had told Rajya Sabha in 2012 about the shortage of building material, especially for aggregates and concrete oving. To mining bans restriction on environmental ground, the shortage has been severe that several civil projects in India are facing delays. This aggressive, this not aggressive, this aggravating the housing crisis and affects the construction of roads, bridges, canals, etc. If sand mining and other natural sources materials have to be restricted and regulated, other strategies must be put in the place to reduce the demand. Basically, the problem is all about the shortage of the building material. So that reuse can be the solution, recycle can be the solution. So in that context, the government also advising or asking the explanation to the state government regarding the environmental issues and building material cases. Now, India's the best example of reuse. Basically, India's first plant that recycles construction waste. You can see in the right-hand side image, the pavement blocks are made up from the recycled material. We'll see in collaboration with the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, MCD, IL and FS, Environmental Infrastructure and Services Limited has developed a pilot project to demonstrate the potential benefits of increasing the recycle rates for C&D waste in Delhi. The project itself have been set up on a public-private partnership basis, which has proved successful as it serves the dual purpose of saving landfill space on the one hand and also developing the market for C&D recycle. So these payment blocks are to be made, which were made on the pilot as a pilot project, and it is the best example of recycled waste. Global practices shown the way regarding recycling. We'll see in the United Kingdom, the Northern Ireland Environment Agency has published the quality protocol for the production of aggregates from insert waste in 2004. This has helped promote use of recycled and secondary aggregates. Almost 280 metric ton of aggregates are used every year, which is 28% of total C&D waste generated. Singapore, yet another land constrained country, recycled 98% its C&D waste. So we can take the best example. The Singapore is setting the example regarding the C&D waste. They are using the 98% of recycled. In US, New York has stringent measures for C&D waste as it is landlocked and has limited space for disposal. Its disposal practices are more efficient than the rest of the US. It forces the developers to segregate waste on site, dismantle, and not demolish in addition to other measures. So in some of the countries, Singapore is setting the best example, the US also setting the example, UK also setting the example regarding reuse and segregation of the waste on the site only. Moreover, this is very encouraging to see that Singapore is yet another land constraint, which is using recycled 98% of C&D waste. Construction and demolition waste. So actually, what exactly it means, we have seen the lot of statistical data till now. Countries, the cities, the waste, type of waste, the government rules, bylaws, the government thought process regarding this. Now we'll see actually the demolition waste. Basically, waste building material, degrading materials that are produced in process of construction, not only construction, remolding, repair, or demolition of residential building, commercial buildings, and other structures and pavements. So more than 50% of waste generated worldwide is C&D. The category is C&D. Many European countries achieving 90% plus recycling. Other developed countries struggling to improve. Approximate 95% of the waste on typical construction site can be recycled. C&D waste shouldn't be disposal in MSW landfill. So basically it is the waste which is coming out from the during the construction, remolding or repairs, demolition of residential, any kind of building, maybe flyover, maybe buildings, maybe road, anything. That is the construction waste. Now we'll see the contribution of construction industry in India's GDP. Basically, you can see here millions of dollars saved if the 3R techniques are appealed. 40 to 60% investment is in materials, basically, of the entire. And this industry is of 100 billion industry. Out of the 100 billion industry, the 40 to 60% investment is in the materials. Now imagine if we are starting using the recycled one, then how much we can save. Just imagine. In the entire India's GDP, the 11% contribution is coming out from the 100 billion construction industry. And out of that 100 million construction industry, 40 to 60%, which is coming out only from the materials. Okay, and in the entire globe, the construction industry second largest share in the development of the nation, as far as development of the nation or as far as the GDP of India is concerned. So we can think over here that if we can start reusing the materials, then we can ultimately help to grow our GDP much more better. Now, categorization of C&D waste, inert material and non-inert material. So it has been categorized into two parts. First one will be the C&D waste, categorized in two parts. First will be the inert material, and second will be the non-inert material. In the inert material, rocks, concrete, brick, stone, and earth. All right. And in the non-inert material, plastic, packaging waste, paints. These are the non-inert material. Okay. So component of construction waste. The CNG, we have seen this earlier, but we are now seeing into the brief, very brief. So this might be the revision for earlier slide for all the students. Pay attention. Okay. I can see the question in the chat box asked by Neha that construction waste are specified to only buildings. No, basically not. Yeah, basically what the construction waste may be from any site. If you are constructing a hotel, residential building, commercial, even a tower, a bridge, a flyover, or rehabilitation or demolition, that can be considered as a waste. That waste in the form of concrete, waste in the form of wood, timber, waste in the form of asphalt. Here is the answer of your question: from roads, roofing shingles, gypsum, the main component of drywall, metals, bricks, glass, plastics, savage building components, door, earth and rock from clearing sites. So all these are the waste from the construction site, maybe anything, road, building, etc. Okay, so we have seen this. The contribution 32%, you can see masonry, soil and gravel 26%, in concrete 28%, metal 6%, wood 3%, and others you can see the 5%. So these are the basically the ingredients of the construction waste. I can say soil, sand, gravel, masonry, mostly concrete will be in the waste. So location, earlier we have seen the top 10 cities of India which are showing the generation of the waste in metric tons. Now we have divided, categorized into the large metro, small metro, rural and state-wise average. So you can see wood, which is having the highest waste, then drywall, in masonry. You can compare, this slide is self-explanatory, and you can see the metal, plastic, cardboard, others, all these are the, the least was the metal, and the plastic is a waste which is the least waste coming out from the construction industry. But you can see the wood and masonry, also drywall, are the major problem. These are the variation in the components. Large metro cities like Delhi, Mumbai, small metro cities like Nashik, Aurangabad, Nagpur, rural like rural area, and state-wise. So again, we will see in detail the city-wise waste generation scenario. City-wise, Chennai, then population, then wards, the ULB. You can see here Chennai, Bengaluru, Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad. All right, so 2,500 tons per year per day they are producing. Then Bengaluru 875, then Mumbai 2,500, Kolkata then 1,600, Hyderabad 500. So you can see the population. All right, in respect to the population, see the number of wards and zones. So all these are the statistics. Okay, the present fate of C&D waste. First of all, lying on the site, not having the segregation mechanism, following the false practice from the contractor, then dumped in the open, negligence of citizens too, sent to landfills, and dumped near the river. These are the present fate and very serious issues regarding environmental concern. All right, so it should not be there. Some part the contractor side is faulty, some part negligence can be is shown from the citizens, some part is of if in terms of blaming, you can blame even few authorities of government also. It's a two-way communication from the society and from the industries. There has to be some mutual understanding. There has to be some strict bylaws in order to avoid such kind of fate. So again, we can see the reuse, recycle, recover, landfill. Either reuse material like wood, steel, plastic. Yeah, it can be reused. Wood can be reused, steel can be reused, plastic can be reused. In recycle, producing materials from waste like aggregates, ready-mix concrete, to recover waste energy from incineration plant, land recovery, landfill, kept as last resort of dumping, and in landfilling is the last option. Okay. Now, in the end, we will see sustainable practices. Plan a separate line of collection and transportation of C&D waste. Separate storage of C&D waste for different categories of generators, household, institution, and infrastructure. Absolutely, there has to be a separate category of generators. The separate things to be collected from household, separate mechanism is to be there to collect from institutional buildings and from infrastructure. Processing for better utilization, even fine materials can be used as inert daily cover at sanitary landfills. Disposal of only the portion which cannot be gainfully used. A mechanism to identify and locate generators of C&D waste. Okay. Now compare between dry and wet processing. You can see here. This is the dry processing. This is the wet processing. You can see the comparison. You can see the difference where more chances of getting waste is from the wet processing, where there is no chance, rare chances, less chances of getting the waste from the dry processing. Okay. Now cycling process we will see in detail. The incoming material is to be gone, it has to undergo inspection, segregation in three categories: concrete blocks, a mixed C&D waste, and recover waste. All these three categories are to be done together. Then recycle, aggregate, finished products, bricks, title, wooden pieces, and this is a market, and they are ready to go for the market. Now you can see in the process of inspection, material inspected manually, sorted before processing. It has to be sorted out. It has to be inspected manually. All right. And the incoming material which is coming out from purchase of C&D waste through MCD, PWD, and NDMC. All right. Technical specification of the technology used while processing. While in the process of segregation, the technical specification of the technology used. Okay. So these are the entire recycling process where incoming material is coming, but the incoming material is coming from which is purchased from C&D waste through MCD, PWD. Okay, and as inspection, the material inspected manually before the processing. Yeah, segregation, technical specification are to be done in terms of concrete blocks, mixed C&D waste, and recovered waste. Then after recycling the aggregate, the final finished product will come and which will be ready for the market. So this is the recycling process flow. Okay. Now you can see different grades of finished recycled product. You can see recycled aggregates up to 10 mm, and recycled aggregate up to 20 mm, recycled aggregate up to 40 mm, and recycled sand. So you can see that the such kind of things can be recycled using proper technology, proper the mechanism. So which will helpful, and we have seen earlier also the entire GDP of the from the construction industry, 40 to 60% depends on only material. So we can save a lot of things from here only, which will not only save the environment but also we will be in the economic benefit. So these are the things. Now cost analysis, very important. Revenues, waste and recyclable produce recover. Variable cost. First we'll see the fixed cost: land, machines, operational design, cost, permits, establishment, and cost. We'll see. Charges for lifting C&D waste. Okay, once you have a waste, then there will be a charge for lifting C&D waste. Then fuel and transportation cost automatically comes. Then material landfilling cost, material handling cost. Then free scrap compacts waste to W2E plant. Then major machine running per cost. Then recycle aggregates, RMC, pavement tiles, curves, stones, etc. And again, water and electricity charges. So to handle the waste, we have to undergo many cost and many cost. We have to go through many much rupees. Okay, and the costs are variable, just like fuel handling charges, transportation cost, material handling cost, major machine handling cost, raw material cost. Okay, so we have to undergo, and there is very much revenue. Okay, so these are the fixed costs, just like land, machines, operational design cost, permits, establishment cost, etc. So the cost also required is very much. Okay, rate and intended use of recycled product, just a title. For example, the for landscaping and crude civil works, the rate is not available, it vary. But for brick non-structural building purpose, rupees 4,500 per thousand bricks. Okay, then bricks bats, the foundation filler material in which it is used, it is 1,000 rupees per truckload. Fixture sold as scrap iron rate, whatever. Same with the case of scrap irons and wooden and plastic. So these are the rate analysis. Okay, duties of the waste generator. Now, amended C&D waste management rule comes into implementation on 29th March 2016. So every waste generator is responsible for collection, segregation of concrete soil and other storage. The generator shall ensure that the waste such as solid waste should not get mixed. So the main duties of the waste generator is to implement the same rule. Basically, amended C&D waste management rules come into implementation on 29th March 2016. Every waste generator is responsible for collection, segregation of concrete soil and other storage. The generator shall ensure that other waste such as solid waste shouldn't get mixed with the other kind of form. Okay. Again, generating waste more than 20 tons or more in one day to 300 tons per project shall segregate concrete, soil, steel, wood and plastic majorly, bricks and mortar. So those who are generating more than 20 tons or more in one day or 300 tons per project, or either 20 tons per day or 300 tons per project, they should segregate concrete, soil, steel, wood and plastic, bricks and mortar. Also shall submit waste management plan and get appropriate approval from the local authority or higher authorities. This is a very good suggestion. Generator shall keep the waste within the premises or get the waste deposited at collection centers. Shall ensure that there is no littering or deposition to prevent traffic and drain flow obstruction. Generator should pay charges for collection, transportation, processing and disposal if generating 20 tons per day or 300 projects per month. Now, duties of a service provider and their contractors. It means authorities who provide services like water, sewerage, electricity, telephone, roads, and etc. Authority shall prepare a comprehensive waste management plan covering segregation, storage, collection, reuse, recycling, transportation, and disposal. Authority shall remove all C&D waste, ensure regular cleaning. In case of service providers have no logistic support to carry out the work specified in sub rules 1 and 2, and they shall tie up with the authorities, authorized agencies. Along with that, there are some duties regarding local authorities. Issue detailed direction, shall seek detailed plan or undertaking as applicable from United C&D West. Check out stages, methodology and equipment material involved in the overall activity and final cleanup after completion. Seek assistance for safe disposal of C&D waste contaminated with industrial hazardous or toxic material or nuclear waste, if any. Shall make appropriate arrangements for collection remove at regular intervals or when they are filled. Shall get local collected waste transported to appropriate sites for processing and proper disposal. Shall give appropriate incentives to generators for salvaging, processing and recycling, preferably in situ. Shall examine and sanction the waste management plan within the 1 month from the date of approval of the building plan. Shall keep track of generation of C&D waste within its jurisdiction and establishing a database and update once in a year. Shall devise appropriate measure for management C&D waste and recycled products. Shall create a sustained system of information, education and communication for C&D waste. Shall make provision for giving incentives for use of material made out of C&D waste. Now, along with the rules regulation of the authority service provider, there are some criteria for storage, processing and recycling facilities. Like the site for storage and processing or recycling facilities for C&D waste shall be selected as per the criteria given in schedule number 1. The operator of the facility as specified in sub rules 1 shall apply in form 1 for authorization from State Pollution Control Board or Pollution Control Committee. The operator of the facility shall submit the annual report to the State Pollution Control Board in form number 2. The application of material made from C&D waste in operation of sanitary landfill shall be as per the given criteria. Okay, as per the given criteria in schedule number 2. Again, then state government, there has to be some regulation duties. So SPCB or Pollution Control Committee shall monitor the implementation rule by the concerned local bodies, send annual report to the Central Pollution Control Board, state government or union territory, provide comments and suggestions with respect to any change required, shall grant authorities to C&D waste processing facilities in form number 3 after examining the application received in form number 1, shall prepare annual report in form 4 with special emphasis on compliance before 31st July of each financial year. Followed by duties of state government, the secretary in charge shall prepare policy document for management of C&D waste in accordance with the provision of rules with 1 year. The concerned department dealing with land will provide suitable sites for setting up the storage, processing and recycling facilities. Student, basically in the MCQ format of GATE, these might be the bylaws which might be asked in the examination. You should pay focus on the year, then the statistical database, the points. Okay. The town, in the continuation, the town and the country planning department shall incorporate the site in the approved land use plan to ensure zero disturbance on long-term basis. Procurement of material made from C&D waste shall be made mandatory, say 10 to 20%. Basically, I have seen the recent interview of Honorable Transportation Minister of India, Honorable Nitin Gadkari sir. He has now made mandatory to use a fly ash basically. Fly ash is the waste which is coming out from the industry, the power plants, and which is harmful for the environment. So using fly ash is now making mandatory for all the road construction. So it's also a good initiative. Then after the central government state, now there are some duties of the pollution control PCB, pollution control board. So by preparing the operational guidelines related to environment management of C&D waste management, analyze and collect the data received from SPCB or pollution control committee to revise these rules from time to time as per the demand of time. It has to be changed. Coordinate with all the SPCB and pollution control committee by any matter related to development of environmental standards. Forward annual compliance report to central government before 30th August of each financial year. And central government, we are asking that report before 31st of July of each financial year. Then again, duties of Bureau of Indian Standard regarding Indian Road Congress. Bureau of Indian Standard is responsible for preparing code of practice and standard for use of recycled material in construction activities. The role of Indian Road Congress shall be specified to the standard and practices pertaining to construction of the roads. And duties of central government, that the Ministry of Urban Development and Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Panchayat Raj shall be responsible for facilitating local bodies in compliance. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change shall be responsible for reviewing implementation of these rules. Okay. Now there are two images. On the left, the landfill, the waste it is to be dumped on the open places, and on the right you can see the recycled houses. All right, now the choice is yours. Okay, so I hope in the end I would like to conclude one thing, that the reused or the recycled is now a need of today's era in the fastest growing construction sector. So even we have seen the top 10 cities of India, the statistical data, the types of material which is produced in the West. All right. So there are some countries who are following good practices. We need to adopt the good practices from the countries like Singapore, UK, US. All right. And even recently we have also announced that to mandatory, it is mandatory to use the 10-20% of the fly ash in the road constructions. So basically you can see the left hand side image and right hand side image, which makes you nervous. You can ask yourself which makes you happy. You can ask yourself. So in this lecture of the waste management on the site, we have gone through the entire detailed statistical data, central government duties, then Bureau of Indian Standard duties, Central Pollution Board control, duty of state government. All right, then recycling facilities. Okay, local authorities. Then you can we have seen the waste generator duties rate. What are the rate of the reused material? The cost analysis. We have to gone through fuel and material handling charges is too much. Then these are the final finished outcome of the recycled finished products of different sizes process. We can see the dry and wet process, the sustainable practices. Okay, then hierarchy of C&D handling. Then this is the lying on the side dumped. Society is also responsible, the contractor is also responsible, few bylaws, in order to somewhat save the money, they follow the false practices, illegal practices. Everybody is involved. Location wise, these are the statistics, a pie chart diagram showing the percentage of waste in the form of materials. So I hope you have understood this. You can revise the lecture again. The link will be available in YouTube very soon. So the statistical data will be asked in examination form MCQ. So it is very easy to recall the things in this particular thing. All right. So I hope you understood, and now the forum is open for the discussion. If students having any doubt, they may ask me. Either unmute your mic now and directly ask me, or you can type simply in the chat box. Okay, I can see it. No problem. Okay.